Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. LeBron James and the Lakers defeat the Raptors. LeBron James, a triple-double. Wow, a triple-double. So let's see how many triple-doubles this guy can really put up at 39-40, right? Because he's always going to have the ball. So I don't doubt that he can't put up at least 10 triple-doubles this year. It's going to be easy. Getting flat-footed rebounds. For the most part, getting no offensive rebounds. God, you know he's going to get the points because he's always going to shoot and do dunks and layups. Yeah, he's going to shoot a lot of threes in this game. He was 0 for 3 from 3. And let's see here. I just want to check something out real quick. Oh, goodness. Yes, LeBron James did have 2 offensive rebounds. It's a miracle. So, I don't think you had to put in too much effort to beat the Raptors. The Raptors that has been the biggest joke, really, since Kawhi Leonard left the Raptors. Right? Nobody knows why he really left the Raptors. Or we really know, right? Because it's not LA. Even though he might have had better luck in LA, in Canada, if he would have stayed. But who knows, man? Nobody knows about this NBA. AD didn't have a lot of points. You really didn't have to do too much to beat the Raptors, man. AD had 22 points. I mean, you could have let Bronny play in this game. Reeves went off, did his thing. And I'm just not impressed. I'm not impressed by this win. You know, we'll give LeBron his flowers. This is what I'm going to tell you guys. It's like the NFL season, right? You really don't know who is who, maybe until halfway into it, right? And then it's really hard to tell who is who halfway into it. Because you still got half the games to go. So you really, I would say in the NFL, maybe when November is over, you really start to see who is who. And who you think is going to contend and make the playoffs. Who's a real Super Bowl contenders. And with this NBA, you just don't even know. You know, we can criticize the Lakers are bipolar. You don't know what you're going to get from them because they don't have to play. Remember last season I was saying the only reason why the Lakers aren't a top 5 team in the West the past, 2-3 years is because of LeBron James. So to be a top 5 team in the West, you have to play defense, right? And they have the guys that can actually play defense the past 3 years. The fact is, if you held LeBron James to that standard to play defense basically on a nightly basis, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. He won't make it through the damn season. So therefore, they have to play lackadaisical and come in the playoffs out of the play-in, right? They got to come into the playoffs from the play-in. And that's fine with the Lakers because of LeBron James. To keep LeBron James playing another year, they have to play lackadaisical basketball. As long as they make the playoffs, LeBron James is still this Iron Man. Oh, wow. And the fact is, you could replace any great player of today. You can put him on the Lakers and take LeBron James off for the most part. Seriously, let's say, in all honesty, if you took Luka and put him on the Lakers and took LeBron James off, that's a top 3 team. That's basically a championship team, right? That's a championship team. If you took, instead of Luka, if you put Kyrie Irving with AD, that's a championship team. That's a top 5 team in the West. And though they're not known for defense, and neither one of them have made a defensive team, Kyrie Irving or Luka, they're going to give you better effort than LeBron James. That's just the facts. That's just the facts. Also, somebody got to explain to me how the Lakers, the last game before the Raptors, I think they played at home. Now, and then they took a day off and played the Raptors. Now they're taking 2 days off to play at home again. So you're you're taking 2 days off to play at home again. But in essence, you're really taking 3 days off because the game doesn't start until on the West Coast, 7 o'clock. It starts in the evening at night, basically. So you're taking 3 days off just to play at home again. Or 2. But if you want to say 2, you're taking 2 days off just to play at home again. Tell me I'm mistaken. But from what I saw, the Lakers don't play again until Wednesday. I got to tell you, folks, you can't make this up unless you're the commissioner making LeBron James schedule. So this is what they're going to give you. They're going to give you, like always, the Lakers and LeBron James, because this is what his career is about. It's ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And they don't have to play like a championship team or a good team all season to get all the hype. And they're going to make the playoffs. We all know this. And one of the things we know that this era isn't that tough. It's not a man's game. So it's going to be easy to make the playoffs, rather through the play-in or just making the playoffs. I don't see the NBA is starting off weird. There's no strong teams. Many of these players that went to the Olympics, they're looking weird. It's almost like they should have. Joel Embiid, why the hell was this guy in the Olympics? Can anybody tell me? He was hurt during the regular season, going into the playoffs, and now this guy is hurt still. But in the Olympics, he was looking pretty good. But now it's time to play for his contract, he's hurt. Wow. Could you imagine having fans like this and you piss in our face constantly? I just don't have, why were you at the Olympics? Why were you at the Olympics? Why were you at the Olympics playing? This was a team that barely beat slow-footed Rudy Gobert. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. One of the worst Defensive Player of the Years every year. This is the bar for this era. You know, I'm sorry. And people beat me up and they say, "Oh man, you can't talk about Joker like this." This is Joker's era. Really. Joker is the greatest player in the 2020s. We all know this. But this is the bar right here. This is for defensively, Rudy Gobert. A defensive player who can't even average 20, 12, and 3 blocks. This is your defensive player of the year. Or hell, who cares about the points? But I'm just saying, he can't even average 3 blocks to get defensive player of the year. He gets embarrassed in the playoffs, gets embarrassed in the Olympics. And you want me to take, this is just, it just sums it up with this era, right? It just sums up this era. Rudy Gobert is the greatest defensive player of the 2020s. Could you imagine? I'm serious. Dwight Howard has to be cracking up. I think that Dwight Howard won 3 Defensive Players of the Year, and this is a real defensive player. Rudy Gobert And I'm sorry, Joker ain't winning 3 MVPs in the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. Joker is too small to be a center. They would crush him. He would have to take his pick. What are you going to? Power forward? I don't know if that's going to work out. In the 90s, in the 80s. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work out. Because they would call you a defensive liability. And a lot of these guys would be throwing your shot all over the place. Could it be a stretch forward? Yeah, I can see that. I can see him being like a Bill Lambert, but Bill Lambert was a legit 7-foot center, though, right? If I'm not mistaken. Lambert was tough. Lambert wasn't even scared to knock Michael Jordan out. That dude was crazy. That was a crazy white dude. I'm trying to tell. Could you imagine LeBron James going against Bill Lambert? And the LeBron fans cried because Michael Jordan went to the office, went to the commissioner and said, "Hey man, can you enforce punching and kicking while I'm in the air? Not make a new rule. Can you enforce the rules of not being able to be punched and kicked in mid-air?" Man, they were doing that to Larry, Magic, all of them, man. How come Jordan couldn't get punched and kicked while he was in mid-air? But they cannot never show you no clips of Magic, Bird, all these other players being punched and kicked in the air. Yeah, you can show videos of the Magic and Bird and these guys being shoved, yes, and taking cheap shots, but punched and kicked while you're in the air? Huh? LeBron James fans are funny. Just imagine this being done to LeBron James. And this is the type of stuff that would go on in the 80s and 90s. It didn't have to be punching and kicking, but if you're just gonna obsessively come down the lane, they'll give you a hard foul, put you on a free. They will literally play a hacker LeBron on LeBron James. That's what they would do. Yeah, go ahead and get the free throw, buddy. Get them free. It would. This soft week. Everybody have a rainbow cupcake era. Let me go back to the monitor and see if he touched them. After further review, it was not a punch. It was a hug while he went up for the basket. This is what these guys want. They want to be hugged while they go up for a basket. I mean, it's ridiculous. Reviews? Really? You're getting a review over a hard foul. Not punching and kicking somebody while they're in the air. A hard foul because he'd rather send you to the free throw line and let you earn it. We saw Luka. I was watching the game the other day, and Luka, the guy had the ball, and he kind of like swung to the left, and he had his elbows out, and Luka did a damn flop. He did a LeBron James flop, and you can see it straight clear. And then I think I forget who was on the call, Doris Burke and I think Jay Billis, and I think right away Doris Burke. What a weird name. If I'm not mistaken, she said something about, that the guy hit Luka in the face, but you can clearly see he didn't get hit in the face. It was a flop, right? This is what these guys do. They have no integrity for being men. They rather flop. And Luka hit the damn floor for this flop. I mean, come on, man. If you're gonna do this stuff, do it at the end of the game or something when the game is on the line, so it has some kind of substance to the whole thing. In the middle of the game, when the game, like, really? Anyway, another thing is Luka, in that same game, he claims that he got fouled. I don't know, what was it, like the second quarter? He claims he got fouled while he was shooting. Clearly, it looked like no damn foul. It was a meaningless shot. It was just a shot in the second quarter, I think. And this guy is going up and down the court crying to the ref. It had to be about 3-4 more plays later, or 3-4 more plays that had went on, and he's still crying. This guy's still crying about getting hit. And even Doris Burke and Jay Billis was like, man, you got to calm down, man. You got to calm down. You got to let it go. That's what I'm saying. These guys could not play in the 80s and 90s, and probably not in the early 2000s. And it just goes to show you could not show an official up like that in the 90s. Definitely not in the 80s. The 80s, the 80s, the referees treated the players like they was college students. Really. They treated them like they were college students. Like they couldn't even really say nothing back. I don't think it was really until like I would say the late 90s where you could really, start the protest in official, right? But you couldn't do it up and down the court. You could just say something about the call and get back to work. That's it. The official, their word was the damn gospel. You could not show them up. That's why I said today, the reason why they can show these officials up and parade up and down the damn court, night in and night out, play after play, is because these aren't real officials, right? LeBron James does this all the time. Luka, all these players do it. They will go up and down the court. LeBron James will cuss at the officials. Again, the reason why you can do this is because this is not a real sports league, right? When they don't call carry, travel, carry, travel, carry, travel, travel, carry, and the fans are screaming carry, travel, travel, carry, but the refs don't call it, what does that mean? What does that even mean? What does that mean if the crowd is doing the officials' work? That's crazy. Bro, I got to do your job? These guys are getting paid record-breaking contract, tens of millions, and you don't even do your job? But you want me to think this is a real sports league. The reason why they don't call carry, travel, travel, carry like they're supposed to, nobody's perfect. But we've seen it over a 10-year period, especially when LeBron went to Miami, that nothing's being called. So therefore, it's not a real sports league. So therefore, the fans are getting cheated out of their money. I don't know. Let's do some comparison, right? So these guys there's no standard or no rules for these guys, right? Basically. So if you go get your roof done, is there a standard? Are there rules and regulations that the roofers have to do on their job to do the roof the right way so you don't have leaks? Oh no, they'll just put some paper down here, put a little bit of paper down here, don't put paper here, don't put paper there, and just start nailing shingles. New shingles, old shingles. There's no standard. So now you're going to have leaks in your roof because they are not upholding the rules and the regulations or have any standards